Hola, amigas y amigos. Bienvenidos a Cómics XXI. En el vídeo de esta semana vamos a rendir homenaje a uno de los grandes maestros del cómic americano, John Romita, que falleció este mes de junio del 2023 a los 93 años. Bien, en el vídeo os contaremos muchas cosas de John Romita, pero yo, quiero sencillamente adelantar de que para mí fue el dibujante por antonomasia de Spiderman en los 60, después de que Steve Ditko dejara el personaje. Él lo revolucionó y creó un horizonte completamente nuevo en esas historias. Bien, deciros también que en este vídeo encontraréis como complemento alguna entrevista que le hicieron a John Romita y en las que nos contará cosas realmente interesantes. Bien, nada más, amigos. Vaya este homenaje en este canal de Cómics XXI para el gran maestro que fue John Romita. Hasta pronto, un saludo.
John Romita nació en Nueva York en 1930. Era hijo de un panadero siciliano residente en la ciudad. Estudió arte y se graduó en 1947. Él era un gran seguidor de los trabajos de Milton Caniff y de Jack Kirby. Cuando John Romita se incorporó al cómic, los superhéroes estaban a punto de desaparecer y no le quedaría otro remedio que dedicarse a hacer romance para DC. Aquí vemos a John Romita y a su esposa Virginia en su visita al Salón del Cómic de Barcelona de 1988. Y aquí, acompañados de los futuros colaboradores de Comics Forum, Raimon Fonseca y Roque González. En la foto aparece también Jordi Delgado. La leyenda dice que el Salón del Cómic de Barcelona no invitó a John Romita, sino a John Romita Jr. Parece que la familia se confundió y apareció el genial John Romita. Cuando el romance entró en decadencia, Romita dejó DC y entró en Marvel, dibujando el entintado de Daredevil. Era 1966. El artista se hizo cargo del personaje de Spiderman después de la marcha de Steve Ditko, el cual había tenido graves desavenencias artísticas y personales con Stan Lee, hasta el punto que habían dejado de hablarse. Romita fue mucho más allá que Ditko, y el contraste entre sus estilos era notable. Ditko miraba a los 50, mientras Romita miraba a los 70 desde 1966. Su trazo robusto, expresivo, lleno de acción, manchando de negro y creando atractivos relieves, sedujo a todos los lectores de Ditko. Stan Lee luchó denodadamente para conseguir que uno de los héroes Marvel tuviera su hueco en la prensa, retornar a allá donde todo había nacido. Así fue que en 1977, por fin, Spiderman llegó a los periódicos. Y lo hizo de la mano de John Romita y Stan Lee, aunque después y hasta 1986 diferentes dibujantes se ocuparon de la tira diaria de Spiderman, incluido el mítico Dan Barry. Lógicamente, tanto el espacio como el ritmo de la historia eran muy diferentes al del comic book. Romita añadió a Spiderman un tono más romántico y más drama, y se convirtió al poco en el cómic más vendido de Marvel, superando a Los Cuatro Fantásticos. El dibujante trabajaba en su casa hasta mediados de los 60, año en que aceptó una oferta de BBDO, una agencia de publicidad, que le pagaba $250 cada semana. Stan Lee, al enterarse, le igualó la oferta. Romita aceptó y pidió trabajar en la oficina de Marvel. Ahí estuvo 30 años ejerciendo de director de arte. En este número empezó John Romita a dibujar Spiderman, número 39, agosto de 1966. John Romita dibujó desde ese número hasta el 119, en 1973, año en que asumió el cargo de director artístico de Marvel, aunque el dibujante regresaría en diferentes etapas como dibujante, entintador o co-guionista. Como director de arte ayudó a crear personajes como El Castigador, Lobezno o Luke Cage.
The difference between what Steve did and what you did with Peter Parker and with Spider-Man and everyone else?
Well, some of it was technique, because I was a brush man. When I used to do the romances, I worked with a brush, and I could get some nice thick and thin accents and good clothing textures and things like that. Ditko was a pen man, and I felt obliged to do Spider-Man and 9 panels like Ditko, because that's what the fans are used to. And I tried for the first year to use a pen, which was hard for me. I lost my flair, but I tried it. And I think maybe in the beginning of the second year, I started to cheat and use a brush a little bit more. And you can see my stuff was somewhat Ditko-like for 6 or 7 months, but slowly but surely I had to put some brush technique in there for weight. And then slowly but surely Stan said, you know what? Don't try anymore. Do it the way you want to do it.
Is there a specific issue, Spider-Man, that you remain proudest of?
Two continuing stories. 108 and 109.
That's impressive, and I bet you it's going to surprise a lot of people. I would think most people would go back to issue 50, Spider-Man No More, or something like that. But that's
those are this is because of the technique. I'll tell you why. Because I always felt like a visitor on Spider-Man. Like I was always doing Ditko somehow. I was trying to keep the character consistent. So I didn't plunge in there as John Romita. I was doing my duty as Spider-Man. So all the early ones, I'm doing duty. But by the time 108 and 109 comes around, when I'm doing my second turn on Spider-Man, then I'm different. I'm a different person. I enjoyed myself. I took my number 5 brush out and I did Milton Caniff all over those pages. You'll see more blacks and slashing clothing lines than ever I did in Spider-Man. And there are scenes in there that I'm very proud of. I wish I had kept the originals. This is the original black and white art, penciled by me, written by Stan Lee, and then inked by me. This is the first splash I did in Daredevil. When I brought in that pencil, Stan accepted this splash, but the pages immediately following it were a little bit quiet and slow moving. So Jack Kirby was called and inducted into the sequence. Stan Lee had elevated the art of communicating with the readers on a page called the bullpen page. He was apologizing, if you read it, for the slowness of the start. But just wait till you get to page 3. That's where Jack Kirby took over. This is the Jack Kirby influence. In other words, instead of taking his clothes off and neatly folding them and putting them on a rack, he takes his clothes off, he quickly gets dressed, he prepares, and he leaps out the window without even looking. And he just hopes he's going to find a flagpole or something to land on. Almost immediately, after seeing the way he paced it, how nothing is slow moving, everything is quick, bang, 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 I caught on almost immediately. Stan didn't have enough time to script all of these things in advance, otherwise he would have. So what he did was, he would verbally or quickly dash out a half a page plot and send it to the artist. Mostly it was verbal, I think, just for time's sake. And the artist then would decide what to make a splash scene and how to introduce the characters and how to unfold the story, which was at first terrified me. But almost immediately, maybe in a month or 2, I realized, holy mackerel, this is a much better way to do it. Comics succeeded despite doing it the wrong way. It should have always been done visually. Once we made it a visual medium, 2 things happened. Every artist had his own approach to storytelling, so you had more variety, instead of having a writer's personal approach. Secondly, Stan Lee discovered that after he had the silent drawings, he could now add balloons where he didn't expect to be able to add them. Sound effects could come anywhere he wanted. So he gained freedom. We gained freedom, albeit we gained a lot of time-consuming responsibility, but it also was much more gratifying, and we were able to put our stamp on the thing, and it was wonderful. If anything made comics boom, I think it was that accident of expediency. So after 6 months, I was in love with Daredevil. And Stan, he asked me, you know, in the 3rd or 4th month, I did Spider-Man as a guest star. He was trying me out for Spider-Man without my knowledge. So suddenly he comes to me and said, do you think you could do Spider-Man on a monthly basis? And I said, I guess so, but I like to do Daredevil. And he said, Steve Ditko's leaving Spider-Man, would you mind? And I figured, all right, I'll help him out with this. Again, the sap was there. And I really hoped I could get back to Daredevil. Somebody had told me that Daredevil's sales had improved while I was on it. And I was feeling great. I was saying, hey, wouldn't it be nice if I could move Daredevil up to be one of the top sellers? But I never had a chance to find out. So that run on Daredevil was like a blissful period of 6 months that I enjoyed myself tremendously. I loved that character. I still to this day think Daredevil's the best character Marvel has.